Do you want to begin with us with a song?
Sure.
Great.
Actually, it's a Nigun first and then a song. Die, 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 die. Da 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 da. Easy now. Die, 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 da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Die, 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 die. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Die, 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 die. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. I will build this world from love. I will build this world from love. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. You must build this world from love. And you must build this world from love. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Then God will build this world. Then God will build this world from love. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Then we will build this world. Then we will build this world from love. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Back to the Nigun. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Die, 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 die. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Die, 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 die. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da.
Good evening. I think we should all take a deep breath in and we let it out. One more. So tonight we mark Havdalah, the separation of Shabbat with the rest of the week. And on Shabbat we find this world to come. It's an experience that we think about as the trueness of what we want, the values that we want to live by. But tonight we also mark a different separation, a separation from our election season that we have been experiencing probably now for what seems like months, a separation from perhaps our TVs or computers looking at the screen as a new president-elect and the new vice president-elect have been announced. No matter what we are feeling tonight, there is some separation. A separation of holiness from Shabbat to the rest of the week, but also a separation perhaps of relief, of not being glued to the news cycle, of not being able to think something differently at a time. But we also know that election seasons are there to separate us. Two candidates or three candidates argue and say that if you don't believe in this, then you should not vote for me, or if you believe in this, vote for me. And if you believe in that, perhaps vote for them. They separate us. And the whole idea that we now have to face is how do we come back together? How do we find some unity? And so before we light our Havdalah candle, I want to share two quotes and two poems. The first is from Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks. He was the chief rabbi of England. And unfortunately, during this Shabbat, we found out that he has died. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks was an amazing teacher, an amazing theologian. I know that Rabbi Appel, Rabbi Kroloff, Kantonovic, and I quote him a lot. He will be missed. He has been a figure in the Jewish world for a long time, and a modern Orthodox thinker that has brought dignity to our Jewish tradition. And he wrote, "One belief more than any other is responsible for the slaughter of individuals on the altars of the great historical ideals. It is the belief that those who do not share my faith, or my race, or my ideology, do not share my humanity. At best, they are second-class citizens. At worst, they forfeit the sanctity of life itself." Those words ring true for me this Shabbat as we welcome Havdalah. And another poem. In the end, we are like children. We thrive on distinctions between me and you, us and them, made in your image. We separate light from darkness, family from stranger, weekday from the fleeting taste of paradise. Wax drips from the braided candle. Cinnamon tingles the nose to keep us from fainting as the extra soul departs. Stop now. Notice this hinge between Shabbat and what's next. Plunge the candle into the wine, but don't cry even without a flame. Our light still shines. This is our inheritance, better than rubies. And now it's Saturday night, the cusp of a new beginning, another day. This week, may our hearts be whole. We continue with Havdalah.
Die, die, da, 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 die, die. Die, die, da, 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 die, die. Die, da, da, die, 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 die. Ja, da, die, die, da, da, die. Ja, die, da, 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 die, die. Ja, die, da, 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 die, die. Ja, da, da, die, die, die. Ja, da, die, die, da, da, die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la.
Would you like for me to go, Rabbi? Okay. So we've lit the Havdalah candle, 3 strands, 3 wicks. They represent many things, but among them, the diversity of the Jewish people. And tonight, the diversity of the American people, with many opinions and many approaches to solving the great problems that we face. Despite our fears, that diversity harnessed to the engine of our democracy has once again prevailed and propelled us forward to a new era. The engine of democracy chugged and sputtered these last few months, but once again, that engine is on its way. And for that, we're grateful. And I'd like for us to think about to whom and for what we're grateful this evening. Grateful for the volunteers and the poll workers at minimum wage who manned the polls, the election areas. Grateful to the voters who stood in line, many for hours and hours, to exercise their democratic obligation. Grateful to those who encouraged the voters to get out. To whom else do we feel grateful tonight? I'll let you think about that for a moment. I would include the journalists who cast light on darkness. Grateful for children who asked the right questions. I'm grateful to the unemployed who kept the faith. I'm grateful to Democrats and Republicans and independents who every day put their lives on the line for our freedom. And I think of two great thinkers of Jewish life, one from mid-20th century and the other late 20th century. I think of Martin Buber, who taught us that the importance of seeing the thou in every person, relating to each person as a creature of God, even those who may not behave quite as we would like, or those for whom we disagree. They too are creatures of God, and the importance of finding a basis to relate to them. And secondly, I think of Elie Wiesel for a special reason. I'd like to share with you a story that some of you may know, others may not, about a modern day prophet, a US president, and Temple Emanu-El. Elie Wiesel, as many of you know, taught at Temple year after year for 5, 6 years, sometimes 2 or 3 times a year. He was scheduled to teach one Sunday morning, and we expected and did have about 1,000 people show up, as often did. But a few days before that, President Ronald Reagan invited Elie Wiesel to join him on a tour of the Bitburg Cemetery in Germany. Wiesel thought about it for a moment, and he said to President Reagan, "Your place is not in Bitburg where Nazi officers are buried. Your place is with the victims, not with the perpetrators." And he said, "I can't go, and I hope you don't go. You should not. I hope not. You should not go." Reagan decided to go to Bitburg nonetheless. And Elie Wiesel came to Westfield and to deliver his prearranged talk to 1,000 people. But we had to delay the moment. We kept 1,000 people waiting, and they understood. Because he spent from 10 to 10:30 in my study on Meet the Press. And they had a split screen that day with Wiesel on one half and Reagan literally at Bitburg at the other. And Wiesel was commenting from Temple Emanu-El on what the president was doing and why it was a very, very bad idea. And from that came the expression of speaking truth to power. And that's what Wiesel did. He said, "Mr. President, I must speak truth to power. I must tell you when you're right, and I must tell you when you're wrong. And that's the American way. That's American freedom. That's democracy. And we play just a little small piece in that. So tonight, together, as we light the flame of diversity and of freedom, we also light the flame of truth and of justice and of right. Go forward, America. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong, and let us strengthen one another.
La 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam orei meorei haesh orei meorei haesh la 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 la.
I would like to share with you a post-election prayer written by Rabbi Andrea Weiss. No matter what happens, this we know. We must recalibrate our national compass and reconfirm what matters most: one nation, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. How do we get from here to there? The Torah guides our ways. It is not enough to love your neighbor as yourself. You must love the stranger as yourself. The prophet tells us what to do. Let justice roll down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. The Psalms remind us, the night may be dark, but the morning always comes. May we each do our part to bring about the dawning of a new day. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol hamavdil ben kodesh lechol.
Why do we sing Eliyahu Hanavi at the end of Havdalah? As I said in the beginning, Shabbat is like the world to come, and perhaps it is the example of what Elijah will be like when we have this perfect world. But I actually like another interpretation. I've heard that actually Elijah does not come on Shabbat. You don't want people to travel on Shabbat. And so either traveling through your doors, or actually there's a commandment that you're not supposed to go 10 floors up higher than yourself as well. So our hope is that Elijah will come. Our hope is that Elijah will be here after this Shabbat. But how do we bring Elijah here? How do we create this world to come? How do we make the world a place where Elijah wants to be? It's by doing that hard work. And so while the election is over, the results are in, that's only the beginning. It is our role, it is our duty as Jews and as Americans to fight for justice, to fight for equality, to make sure all voices are heard in our democracy as well. And so we will sing Eliyahu Hanavi, hoping that Elijah the prophet will come in the near future, but knowing that we have to do that work as well.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimera veyamenu, Yavo eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
Now that Shabbat's over, Elijah can enter our doors as well. A good week, a week of peace.
Shavuot Tov, 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 Shavuot Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase.
Shabbat Tov, everybody. A good week, a week of peace to all of you. I think you can unmute yourselves if you want. Let me see if I make sure you can
Let's
do
share
that.
with each other.
Yes, you can. Shana Tova, nice to see everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Shavuot Tov.
Shabbat Tov, everyone. Shabbat Tov.
Lovely. My Havdalah candle set off the smoke alarm. The whole neighborhood knows we were right.
We didn't hear it. No, you were
Come
muted.
say hi if you
You were
want.
muted. We didn't hear it.
You wouldn't hear it, but the neighbors did.
Packs quite a
The fire department's there.
Yeah, this is the fire alarms. No, the firemen didn't come. I got it off too fast.
Alyssa, was there someone in the background on to your left?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I was trying to put Mark on, but that's
oh,
my
there you
friend.
go.
That's I didn't know if we should get so political during services.
That's great. Hi, Caleb.
But this is my best friend, Joe.
Those first, there might be some more Havdalah in the at least
Oh,
in the
it
NATO
froze.
observatory. So.
Mark, the computer froze.
How come you got him to visit you tonight? He should be very busy.
Froze.
Nothing to do till 8 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
He'll come visit us all at 8 o'clock.
Could we hear from your friend there?
What's that?
Alyssa.
Hi, Caleb.
What do you want to say?
Hi, Caleb.
Hi, Caleb.
Caleb.
Hi, Caleb.
Want to say hi, Zoe?
I'm so happy to see my best friends.
Oh, we got Zoe too.
Hi, Zoe.
Right.
All right.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you for joining us. We wish you all a good week.
Thank you,
And,
Thank
Rabbi
you.
Thanks for-
Krasnett.
We want to celebrate. Mark, hey.
How you
Hey,
guys doing?
That's
Good to see
terrific,
everybody.
Alyssa.
did we get one of those too?
They like Joe.
Delivered to our door?
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Shabbat Tov, everybody.
Have a good evening.
Bye,
Enjoy your
Carolyn.
beautiful
Bye.
weather.
Hi, Alyssa. Bye.
Bye.
Right. Enjoy. Thank you, Martha.
Shavuot Tov, everyone.
Shavuot Tov.
Hashem.
How do you turn it off, honey? Leave. There you go.
Just end leave and then
I
leave.
can't do it.
We did it! Woo-hoo!